Welcome to BAWASHIR automation class once more. So what we are going to have today is just a continuation of our HMI programming, and this time around we are going to have it in a Siemens version. I mean a Siemens version. We are just going to have this first scene from conveyor A to B. Yes, we are still under basics. We have not yet dived into serious things yet. So these basics, of course, they create a foundation for everything that is coming. So we are going to duplicate this sensor. We are going to click here and click control, click here also, then release control, then move this one in front a bit there, then it say control C, that is copy, then control V, that is paste. Then the pasted one, we are going to put it around there so that when you move, you see, we have to. So I can name this, we can see this, and see this. So the conveyor, we are going to right click on it, then come to configuration, then select digital plus minus. That means the conveyor will be able to run in forward and reverse. As you click the actuators, we have roller conveyor plus, that's forward and minus. So we can rename this. That is forward FX. Then you can rename this to, that is reverse RX. Then you can, this sensor, it is the forward sensor, you can name it FS. Then this one is the behind sensor, you can name it BS. Okay, the naming, I'm using my own names, but you can name it anything that you want to understand. So we are going to create an HMI to control this conveyor both in manual and automatic, whereby in a manual, we are going to press forward. When you press forward, for example, press forward, the conveyor goes as long as you are pressing forward, but when you release, it stops. Also, when you press reverse, it moves the reverse as long as you're still pressing reverse. When you release, it stops. But when in automatic mode, you are going to have start stop button, so that when you press start, it is going to go forward. When it reaches the forward sensor, it stops for something like 1 second, then it comes reverse. Are you seeing? Also, when it reaches the reverse sensor, it stops for something like 1 second, again it goes back forward. So the routine is going to remain like that, not until the stop button is pressed. That is automatic mode. So you are going to have an HMI that is going to help us detect the sensor states, to monitor the sensors. Then have manual control, that is forward, reverse, and also have automatic control, that is a start and stop. So hope we go. So when you're hopping, remember, when you're hopping to connect anything, don't leave this first, put it released. When you're hopping to connect your TIA portal software with the factory IO, always don't forget to start your project with the template, with the factory IO template according to your TIA version. So me have already opened mine, but I'm not going to start with the ladder logic yet. I'm first going to have the HMI program. So here we have already PLC1 configured as it comes in the template. So to add an HMI, just as usual as we did previously, we are going to go to add a new device, double click. So adding a new device, we are going to HMI. Then come schematic basic panel. Then here you can choose any age. This one most cases happens according to how many components you are going to have on your display, or if you have the real HMI, the size of the HMI that you're going to use. But for our simulation, let's just use this basic of 7-inch. So let me see, this one is version 15. Let me choose this one. Okay, you can just say choose that one and say okay. Just as you know, with our Siemens, it doesn't need rushing. It is quite a bulky software, you know. So it's going to produce this one. This is the step. So select PLC. Remember, we don't have a PLC, we have a simulation mode. You are going to select that one. Then interface. I want to see if there's another option, but I think we only got one interface, which is Profinet. Then we shall say next. That's PLC connection, screen layout, background. This one is, you can change it even after. You can change here the background. You can use a logo. If you have an image, you can go browse. For example, you can have here BAWASHIR. So okay, I'll use that one as a logo. Date and time, you can choose date and time. You can leave, you can choose the header or no. So the header is there. So you say next. If you don't want to go through all these steps, you can just click finish. Acknowledge alarms, pending alarm, active system alarms, you say next. Root screen, you say next. System screens, you just say next. Buttons, bottom, right, left, you just say here. Now it is finished. Okay, so now, so you see the logo is selected here. This is the root screen. You can still change all these things even here. So when you double click any component here, it tries to bring its properties. As you see here, the name is the root screen. You can decide even to change it. Since we are going to have only one screen, I'm just going to make it a heading, conveyor control. Then I'm going to have grid color. You know, the color I had selected, but still here you can change. Background color black, grid color is black. Then when you come here to layers, okay, this one for now we can leave. So general, that is the properties of that we can have. Yeah, only the bad thing when we come to HMI, again, it becomes a bit texts. What I'm going to do is welcome to this one is delete. Events, animations. Okay, this one is refusing. What I can do is okay, we can leave that. So here what we are going to do is we can leave that one as root screen. When you want to insert text, you can just click here where I want our text to be. Then on your keyboard, just click conveyor control. So that is the text. Enlarging, you can double click to get its properties. They are already here, just need to raise them. So when you click here and come to appearance, background is that one. Border background color, border color. We have foreground color, that's the color of the text. We can choose something like that one. Line style, double line, flashing. We have the text is conveyor control, flashing is disabled. You can say standard enabled. But that one is only witnessed in simulation. When you start the simulation is when the text is going to start flashing. So it has various properties here. We have text format, whereby you get the font type, you get the alignment, left or middle, center or right. We have horizontal. We have very many. So we can't go through everything, but during your time of practice, you just be testing all those properties for the text. So what I'm going to look for maybe is what they call what size designs. Let me see. I'm going to look for size, which is I'm going to increase size a bit. I'm going to make it bold. It is already in bold. Increase. See, then I put it a bit there, root screen. Then I'll do away with this. Properties, I click this, I go back. So from there, I'm going to come here. I have something like this is a button. You click once, come and click it here. So these buttons also have properties. When you double click, sometimes property may fail to pop up. You just have to raise it up here like this. So when you click a button like this, it also has its own properties. When you come to layout, we have fit graphic to size, height. We have security. Let me see, text format, center. When I come to texts, I have here this text. Let me try to change and see if it is going to change. Manual. So that is okay. When it is off, it reads manual. Still, when it is on, also it reads manual. That's what is going to happen. Then events, we are going to add later. But in the prior clip, you saw how we add events. Animations, we are going to add later. When you come here to properties, then you have style and design. You have use style or design. You click. Let me check the styles and designs which are there. Style item appearance is a button, but there are various here. Okay, I want to see if there are other properties. Miscellaneous, layout, fit object contents. Then you come here, general. You have graphic off on, mode text, process file, text manual, text list. Then you come to fill pattern, background color, color or gradient. We can color gradient fill. Here I can change. That's right. Why is it? Okay, I had selected here some box that I need to uncheck first. Then I go back up. So now here I can use these colors. Background color, if I check this one, this is background color gradient. All you people, if you don't know what gradient is, those who do graphics, let me make this one solid. If you're using gradient, you have fill pattern 1 and fill pattern 2. Gradient 1 fill pattern, offset gradient. Let me see if there's an option of no gradient. So if I'm using this one and I use also this one, there are 3 fill patterns. I use also the very one to come up with a uniform color. Are you seeing? So that is background color gradient. Then here we have gradient fill pattern. Let me untick this and see what happens. So when I untick those ones, these ones will go off. That means we shall have only one color. Let me see. Yeah. That color is now called solid color. So that means a button you can have mixed colors. When you happen to click here gradient, to allow gradients, then you can have here 3 different colors to make up one button. So that is the background color. When you come here to design focus color, like focus color, it happens when you move the cursor to the button, it changes the color. You are going to see that later. Then when you come here to appearance, here is where the visual thing happens. So here background color, it cannot work just because, is it because we chose gradient? Border color, we can change border color to be something like this. Are you seeing? Then the border width, that is something like radius. I mean, are you seeing what happens on the button? So I'm just wasting time on one button so that you can learn how to play around with buttons, so that the others just be the walkover. Then we come to radius. Radius, are you seeing the way the button is changing the shape here? This shape is becoming as if an oval. Click back again. So that is what radius does. On a radius, if you decrease, it becomes more of a rectangle. If you increase, it becomes more of an oval. Then you have foreground color. Foreground is the color of the text. That one, if you change to black, it goes to black, but white is a bit more visible. Line, or line style, it can be double line, it can be dotted line, solid as it was, so double, let me leave it solid. So that is appearance. So also buttons has very many features that you can play with. We have appearance, we have design, we have fill pattern, we have general layout. Let me try to say design. Okay, layout. So in your free time, you try all these properties. They happen on buttons. Then you have animations. Then you have events and texts. For events, at least you have a clue from the previous. Then animations. That one is also under appearance, but we are going to see it later. Let's first focus on our project. So here I'm just going to say copy, and I'm going to paste it somewhere because I need the manual and automatic. I'm going to post it somewhere, then instead I'm going to paste. Then I'll need here another. Once you see those blue lines, it means it's going to be in the same line. So this one, I can type from here, you can type from properties. I'm just going to say sensor states. So since it is small, I'm going to increase it a bit. Are you seeing that one? So manual and automatic, I'm going to give them different different appearances. Appearance here, I need background color. Why is it having the pink? Where is it getting the pink from? General layout. Was it from styles and design? No, it was from fill pattern. Yeah, so I'm just going to change something a bit here. Is it changing something a bit here? Okay, I'm going to change something. Okay, this is manual, this is automatic. Sensor state, I can also give it its own color. Okay, now sensor state have this. Then these ones, they have manual, automatic. They are going to have that. Sensor state, you are not looking fine. You are not looking still fine. Okay, sensor state, you have something like that. So we click here to go down. So now you can have this one a bit up. I have this one a bit up. Also have this one a bit up. Okay, so now I want to have here a certain shape. I am going to click triangle and I'm going to draw here my shape for the sensors, and I'm going to right click. I come to order. I just move backward a bit so that I can remain with the word sensor state scene. Then I have it a bit like this. Then I'm going to have another rectangle. I can have it as a logo down here. Like that. So I'm going to have this one, properties. Once you click on it, then you raise this window here. You are going to have it is properties. When you come to appearance, you have background color. I'm going to leave it to black. Then I have borderline style, border width. I'm going to increase it. Border color, I'm going to choose like this. Can I choose like this? Something like that. So are you seeing? The same is going to happen to this one now. Okay, this one I can raise it up a bit. Then now this one also is going to copy the same properties of appearance. Here I'm going to select it was this one, border color. Then it was solid a bit. Is it? Yeah, something like that. So here you can write, I can write my adverts or something of the sort. So here we are going to have manual and automatic. So I'm just going to, since this one is a button, I need here, this is manual control. I need here forward, paste. I need here reverse. Here copy paste. I need here start. Paste. I need here stop. Something like that. Something like that. That means this way I have to balance the screen. It is not a must that you have to balance the screen. Me, I'm just aiming at neatness. You know, the first time I have to be slow so that you people, you can know how to configure your screens look the very right way that you want. So here, this one I'm going to have forward. Then this one I'm going to have reverse. So the texts are not seen properly. You just click on the button. On the button, you come to properties. We change, in appearance, we change what we call foreground color. The foreground color, I can choose black. Yeah. Then here, foreground color, also choose black. Then here also foreground color, you can choose black. Me, I'm choosing black. For you can choose whatever you want. Foreground color, you can choose black. Then this one, the text is start. And then this one, the text is stop. Like that. So here we can go back to our normal colors whereby we use, let me see. So it is not using that background color, it is using fill pattern. So fill pattern, I'll go back, I'll choose green for start, then stop. Fill pattern, I'm going to choose red. I see. So that is how it's going. I want them to be in the same line. This is not a must, but for me, for neatness, you see those blue lines, once they come, it means it's going to be in the same line. Okay. So now at least buttons are done. I have manual. For this, forward, reverse, I have automatic. This one is supposed to be automatic mode. Automatic. The color is not seen properly. Let me change for you. Foreground, it is in appearance. Background, we come to foreground. Can choose for you something like then here that one is seen. Sensor state. Okay, so here we are just looking at appearances, how to change the appearance of the screen. So that's conveyor control. Now what's remaining? Let me have here, I'm going to have here text, and I'm going to text this one. I'm going to write it as front sensor. I'm also going to say front S to mean front sensor, and I'm going to move it a bit there. Then I'm going to say Control C, Control V. I'm going to say Control C, Control V, copy and paste. Then I just double click on this one. I change this one. I highlight that one. Then I say behind the sensor. That is behind the sensor. I just don't want to write the long word behind. I write behind the sensor. So now I'm going to have a lamp. And now you see where the lamp is. Elements. We have toolbox. These are shapes. I have here, what's this? Graphic input output. No, I don't need that one. How comes that I have few elements? Basic objects. Okay, here a lamp. We are just going to use a circle. We know how to configure. So this circle here, it is going to help us as a lamp. That one is going to indicate when it is automatic, that one lights. So I'm just going to say Control V, okay, Control Z to go back. So I'm going, that one copy is Control C, then Control V. This one is going to indicate manual. Still Control V. Then this one is going to indicate forward running. Then you have Control V. This one, where has that V gone? Control V. Okay, Control C. Let me copy this one. Control C, Control V is going to come here. Then I'm going to copy that one. Control C, Control V. I put it here in start to indicate whether it is start mode. Then Control V again. I put it here. So these ones are going to be as indicator lamps. I say Control C, still Control V. This one is going to indicate whether the front sensor, and Control V again. This one is going to indicate the behind sensor, the status of the behind sensor. So here forward, reverse. These buttons also, we have them background color. We can choose that one to be maybe dark blue. I see. Then choose this one also, but darker blue seems as if it is lighting. Let me see this one. It needs a dark color. Okay, so that when you're doing an animation, then start, you can have dark green. Then stop, you can have dark red. Then automatic and the manual, here we can have the same representing color. I am not good in color choosing. So, and now sensor states, here we can choose okay, but it is always okay to all have these colors the same. So sensor state, to know that all they are off. Reverse, we can use the same color. Forward, you can use the same color. Then you can only leave start and stop like that. So I think we are moving. Okay, so that is how it is going to look. So now the functionality, all these lamps, they have to light. What's that? Delete. These lights, they have to be light because they are just shapes. These buttons, they are buttons, you have to address them. And this one is a button, but it was just supposed to be a label, not a button even. Something like supposed to have it as a label, a text, because when you leave it as a button and you don't give it a job, it is going to misbehave. So I'm going to say Control C here and Control V. Then I'm going to put this one here. Then I'm going to double click and say caps lock sensor state. I see. Then I'm going to position it properly. I'm going to go to its properties and just change its appearance. Let me see if background color is going to work. I used the pattern. I used fill pattern. Fill pattern was in design. It was where? Was it in layout? No. Was it in general? It was in styles and design, text format. towards where? Okay, I have to change. Is it border background? No. Background color? No. Foreground color, yeah. So I just have to maybe select something like that, yeah. So that is it. So now, following the previous clip, you can try to give that thing functionality. When you happen to start here, when you happen to say start simulation, let's see what's going to say. So your task at least is to give that screen functionality as I explained in factory IO, but all the simulation starts with screen conveyor. I say okay, but after coming up with ladder logic, then creating PLC tags, then you create HMI tags, but when you get defeated, you just be open and sum defeated. Then also you can come up with that very design, or else you come up with your own design. So this is the HMI screen. That's how it will look like. So you see these are buttons when you press. Are you seeing? But now they have no functions yet, which has to be developed by ladder logic programming. So I think we shall start from there, but it is as an assignment for the first time. See you when you see me.